This is a real snake skull. And just like this, you have to shed your skin. Now, I promise I'm not being creepy, and this isn't some sort of horror show. Purely metaphorical, but extremely important, because you and I are about to enter into the year of the fire horse, 2026, and what just passed was the year of the snake. And it's extremely important we move from the year of the snake into the year of the fire horse very well prepared. Otherwise, we will just get trampled underfoot. So, here's the good news. The good news is that if in 2025 you felt like your whole year was an absolute shit show, good. That's what 2025 was actually supposed to be about. Because 2025 was the year when, just like a snake, you are supposed to find the things that you regret, find the things that are causing you stagnation, find everything that is keeping you as an NPC in the simulation. Find it and shed it by February 16th, 2026, because that's the end of the snake year. So, if you felt like 2025 just wasn't your year, if you felt like 2025 was just an absolute horror show, that's excellent. You need to now identify which parts were causing you pain. Was it a relationship that was causing you pain, or a lack of one? Was it your job or lack of one that was causing you just day in and day out misery? Was it the place you're living in, the hometown that you feel like you're stagnating in? Identify those critical areas, and by February 16th, make a plan, a decisive plan of how you are going to shed that skin. Shed that relationship or loneliness. Shed that job or lack of one. Shed whatever it is in your life that's causing you pain. Shed it however you can. Because here is why. 2026, beginning February 16th, is the year of the fire horse. And the fire horse is not about identifying what's going wrong. The year of the fire horse is about action. Decisive, concrete, planned out, I'm doing this every single day or week action. So, let's break down the year of the fire horse and see how you can take action in this deep dive. The first thing you and I need to do before February 16th is journal everything we observed in 2025. Specifically, everything that caused us pain. Now, this might take some time, but remember what the year of the snake looks like. A snake observes. Before striking, before doing anything, the snake observes. It hides behind rocks, it hides in bushes, it hides in people's shoes, and it observes. So, what did you observe through that whole year? I'll tell you what I observed. I observed that we live in a simulation. That was my absolutely number one main observation that changed my entire life, because it changed the way I see my life. That we live in a simulation. From that observation came this fact that the simulation wants to keep us in the lowest rendering state possible. The simulation wants to be as power efficient as possible. So it's going to try and keep you and me trapped in low rendering, low power state of being, in this NPC state of living. What does that look like? Well, for example, the simulation is so power efficient that when it hears me say, hey, I want a better life, I want a bigger bank account, I want more health, I want to be in a relationship that's healthy for once. When it hears me say that, first, the simulation offers me a substitute. The simulation says, okay, I hear you, but trade offer for you. What if I give you a fake relationship that's just online with somebody that may or may not be real? How do you respond to that? And if the simulation sees in my brain all the dopamine receptors firing and me not actually going out and meeting anybody real, just these dopamine receptors firing, then the simulation concludes, all right, I don't have to render anything real for this person. I can just keep giving them artificial friendships and situationships online. Don't have to render anything real into their lives. So the plan is for 2026, the year of the fire horse, is to shed that skin. Shed the skin of cheap dopamine substitutes. Shed the skin of, yeah, okay, I'll take that. I won't ask you to render the real thing in real life. I'll take this fake digital thing, whatever that might be. You need to shed that skin. You need to say no. Because 2026 is the year of the fire horse. And a fire horse is all about agility and speed and doing what you promised yourself you would do. So, if you just stay in your cocoon, stay in your skin of accepting the cheap dopamine substitutes and be like, okay, this is fine, this is my life, I'm just an NPC stuck, then you will stay stuck. The fire horse will absolutely trample you and your goals and whatever it is in your life. Your 2026 will be worse than your 2025. That's the main difference. The year of the snake, 2025, is all about observing and then shedding your skin. And if you don't do that, if you stay stuck, the fire horse will trample you. Just like it would trample a snake, it will trample you underfoot and leave you behind. Please don't let yourself be trampled. Shed that cheap dopamine and make a plan to tame that fire horse and ride it to glory. Or at least to, your goals. The things you want to manifest. Stuff like that. Point number 2, the year of the fire horse. 2026, February 16th, it begins. And you need to know what it represents. It represents speed. It represents freedom. It represents rebellion. If you tried those things in 2025, being rebellious, going for your goals and not quite getting the freedom you want, going full tilt into your manifestations and endeavors and goals and not quite accomplishing them, that's fine. 2025 was about being the snake, observing, and then 2026, putting all of that, goals, manifestations, everything into momentum, and they will work out for you, because that is what the fire horse represents. Riding that horse, getting on that saddle, and blazing forward to accomplish everything. Now, a word of caution, because 2026 also represents a year where you and I will see incredible social unrest, economic volatility, political chaos. You think you saw that with things like Venezuela and Israel and all of that in 2025? You thought that was a year of political unrest? No. 2026 will top that by measures, by leagues, which means that you need to be prepared even more for 2026. If in 2025 you were surprised by all of the social unrest, by the hints of World War III, if you were scared in 2025 that World War III would happen, it was never going to happen. Not in 2025. But in 2026, yes, that is the year when all of that unrest will begin to boil and manifest itself in the world. Point number 3, the final point, the most critical one, is what do you and I do now? We've learned that by February 16th of 2026, we need to shed our snake skin. We need to shed the regrets, the manifestations that didn't work. We need to have observed all of the cheap dopamine substitutes the simulation was giving us and then reject them. So what do we do after February 16th, 2026? What do we do when the year of the fire horse arrives? What do you do when a horse arrives? Maybe you give it a little apple to nibble on. Maybe you pet it on the head. But then you saddle it up and you ride to your destination. You can't be petting the horse forever. Certainly not for a whole year. It's just going to leave. But what a horse is built for, what it's born for, is riding to freedom, to the next horizon, to new lands unknown. That is what a horse is built for. And of course, it's also built for trampling things underfoot. Trampling snakes underfoot, trampling other people underfoot if it's just blazing forward. Trampling grass and kilometers and miles and everything underfoot as it just blazes forward to glory and its destination and everything that's ahead of it. That is metaphorically and very much physically what you and I need to do starting February 16th, right? From the moment that you watch this video to the moment you begin, you need to journal everything you've observed, all of the cheap dopamine, make a plan to refuse it, and then February 16th and onwards, as soon as you can, saddle that horse, go forth, go with momentum. If there is one takeaway that I can give you for the year of the fire horse, it is to not be neutral anymore. It's to not be the snake that observes and sits back, calculating the right moment to strike. That year is done. This is the year of the fire horse, where you saddle that horse, you ride that horse to accomplish all of your goals and all of your manifestations. And if you do that, the year of the fire horse will reward you. What you are trying to manifest, the goals that you are trying to accomplish, this year will take you to them. This horse will take you to your goals. It's written in the simulation, in the stars.